What is up, Wikimaniacs? Welcome
Ta-da!
to our first live stream in a while.
Since our anniversary back in August.
Yes, true. First one on Twitch, actually, which is super exciting. So if you want to check us out on Twitch, we're there as well. It's Reddit on Wiki, same thing. But yeah, I see we got tons of people in the chat.
Hello.
Heck yeah. That's
Wikimaniacs,
awesome.
we usually just chat, during the premieres, but hey, we're live. I was gonna say in the flesh, but virtually in the flesh.
Virtually in the flesh. Yeah.
Yes.
Sean cannot join us.
He still has a job.
He's on a pee break. No, yeah, he's still working. He might be in the chat. You never know. He might pop in.
He's not.
Yeah, probably not. But but what's up, Wikimaniacs? We thought we'd come live on a Wednesday. Now that I have more time, John's full time. We have time. So we thought we'd hop on and read some Reddit stories live today. But before we do that, how are you doing, John?
I'm doing well, my friend. Let me ask you this, my brother. How is your first live as a married man now?
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting because I've edited both the episodes that I'm back in, but I haven't come back to a full episode yet since I got married. So yeah, thank you for all the congrats in the chat. And yeah, it's great. I got the ring here. We show it off in the first or second episode I'm back in. But yeah, so super excited. Had a great time. Wedding went well, as all the patrons and YouTube members know, because we told the full story there of the wedding, but went perfectly. So yeah, it's going great. It's going great.
Yes, no Sean today, but you get Kevin.
Kevin is there. Yes, 100%.
You will hear him crying because he's an entitled little brat. But yeah.
Takes after his owner, right, John?
Exactly. And I'm rocking my Chloe shirt, kind of the same one that I rocked back in the August live. So I'm double dipping in my outfit today.
Hell yeah. Shout out Loki Bear for resubbing for membership for 6 months.
6 months.
Says Miss and Mr. Josh Hype Train. Mrs. and Mrs. Mr. Oh God.
Honk, honk.
Yeah. Also, we got our first follower on Twitch. Shout out Fred. For that.
Hey Fred.
So yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us today.
Oh wait, I gotta acknowledge a goat here, Stevie. What's up, my friend? Want to say congratulations for that promotion. I'm so proud of you.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. I missed that because
this was on a Discord. So
okay.
This is a call to action. Join our Discord. Got lots of awesome people there. Great community. Everyone is just so positive and uplifting. You want to send pictures of your pets? You can do that. You want to send a picture of the food you just ate? We do that too. Book talk, not book talk, but book recommendations. We got a channel for that. Such a wholesome community led by our amazing Wikimaniacs. Not us. We just pop up every now and then. But yeah, just want to call to action. Join our Discord channel.
Absolutely. And Savantology is our third follower on TikTok or Twitch over there. So hell yeah, we're getting some Twitch watchers. That's new for us. New platform for sure.
Yeah.
Before we get started, John, I wanted to wish everyone in the Florida area, well. I know the hurricane is coming, I think tonight or tomorrow morning. So I hope everyone's safe and out of the way. But yeah, it's horrifying time. However, a lot of our Wikimaniacs in the area have been tagging us in TikToks that I think you'll enjoy, John. I don't know if you've seen these.
I've seen it. Trust me. Everyone has been tagging me on this. And apologies, I haven't responded. There's just so much of y'all.
Yeah. So I want to share a couple of these because they are so funny. Let's get in here. Let me know if you can see that, John.
You good, brother.
All right.
Meteorologists are crying on live television. The mayor of Tampa says if you do not evacuate, you're looking at death. That's your option. Hurricane Milton is so large, they're considering a Category 6 to start classifying these super hurricanes. And yet, Dasani water is still sitting on the shelves. That's how nasty that water is. Climate crisis won't even make people drink that water. Coca-Cola, are you not embarrassed? Do something about your nasty foot water.
Yeah. There's another one here. Let me switch tabs here.
It's like with the Chris Rock voiceover sounding guy.
Yeah, this might be him. I don't know. I watched them a while ago, but
Honestly, that is my worst nightmare. Being waterboarded by Dasani.
that'll be our 5,000 tier, our
Damn, y'all
5,000
trying to kill
subscriber
me.
patron.
Wait a minute.
This can't be real. This is real life. So the storm's going to be rolling in a couple of days, and we're already bad off down here. But for water, nobody, and everybody agrees on this, nobody likes Dasani. Shit water. You got some Zephyr Hills left, but everybody hates Dasani. Oh, that's funny. I just got this, and everybody hates Dasani.
So John, you are not alone in your
No.
feeling towards Dasani.
Hey Beth, Dasani or ocean water tastes better than Dasani.
Oh yeah, man, it's so funny. Like the amount of times, and so there's like very few things we get tagged in on TikTok. It's usually like reposts of our content, and Dasani water. Anything about Dasani water, we get tagged in. And so, yeah, it's crazy. John, do you want to describe what makes Dasani water bad in your
Everything
eyes?
about it. It tastes like plastic. It's too I don't know how to explain it. It just tastes like bad experience. That's what it tastes like.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Andy B said it best. People who say water doesn't have a taste has clearly been blessed to not drink Dasani. Absolutely.
True. Do we want the chat overlay? We could do that.
We can do that as well.
Then everyone could see on Twitch and YouTube what everyone else is saying on the other platforms. We'll do that. But John, do you want to hop into your first story today?
Let's do it. So I'm gonna do things a little bit different. I'm pretty sure Josh has some stories from Reddit itself. For me, I pretty much picked a lot of people who sent it to us. So the subreddit as well, but I focused a little bit more on the listener stories because y'all took the time to write it. Figured we'd take the time to read it, and I feel like this is the best time to do it now. So this one was actually sent to us on our subreddit, or actually one of our forums, by Pearly Cupcake. The title is, "Was I almost trafficked, or am I overthinking?"
Oh, spooky stories.
All right, this is kind of a real life "Let's Not Meet."
Okay,
All
this is a bit of a tease for coming Monday's episode,
Yes.
where John does all spooky episode,
Yes.
which is very fun. Big fan
Because,
of that.
people requested through Sean's Venmo, but Sean barely checks. So he's not here to defend himself. Maybe y'all should send it to me because I actually check stuff.
Whoa.
I'm just saying. All right. Well, it goes as this. Hi, John, Sean, and Josh. I love your podcast, and you guys are hilarious. Again, I say more courtroom stories. Most hilarious episode ever.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for that. That was just a random idea that we came up with, and can't believe that it's been a hit.
Everyone seems to like it, so.
Yes. Now on to my story. Was I almost trafficked? So a few months ago, end of June, beginning of July, me and a group of friends all went to Vegas for a friend's 21st birthday. The group was me, my fiance, our friend Jay, and our friend V, and his girlfriend and her family. Anyways, due to bad weather, we missed our connecting flight from Atlanta, Georgia to Vegas, Nevada. We ended up deciding to sleep in the airport because it would have been more of a hassle of time and money to get a hotel for the night, only have to wake up early and track all the way back to the airport. While everyone was sleeping, I barely got any sleep because I just couldn't get comfortable. So it's about 3 a.m. and we are sitting at a gate that says it's going to New York. Obviously, we just set up. Ooh, you're seeing this live. I can't read, people. Obviously, Josh usually edits that out. Sometimes
I try.
Obviously, we just set up Obviously, we just set up, came outside the gate our first flight came in from. It also happened to be right across the bathrooms. While everyone is sleeping, I am on my laptop doing some studying for school. Around 4 a.m., I call it because I just can't focus anymore. I decided to do my makeup, and I don't do much but enough to look presentable. While I am doing my makeup, I noticed out of the corner of my eye, this guy was staring at me pretty intensely. I tried to just ignore the staring, thinking I was just overreacting or he was just looking out the window. I finished up my makeup, and I decided to get up and walk around to stretch my legs. There was a breakfast place that was going to open in a couple hours, so I decided to walk over and take a look at the menu. Mind you, this place was still within sight of my whole group. I go over to look at the menu, and all of a sudden, this guy comes up from behind me and he starts complimenting me.
Ew.
He compliments my. I know this. Who
You,
does that
David.
shit? Ew, David. He compliments my eyes and my lips, and I politely say thank you and continue to stare at the breakfast menu. He starts telling me he's going to New York for work and proceeds to ask where I'm going. I stupidly tell him I stupidly tell him where we are actually going. Not saying anything else to the guy, he then proceeds to ask for my number, and I politely tell him, "No, I'm engaged, and I am wearing a ring on my ring finger. Mind you, it's not a real thing." He then proceeds to wait about 4 seconds before he then asks if he can give his number. I say no and walk
What?
away.
Take no as an answer. Even if
No
this
is a
isn't a
complete
traffic.
sentence,
Yeah.
people.
Even if this
Jesus
isn't a
Christ.
trafficking story, just take no for an answer. Oh man. Some people suck.
Yes. Oh yeah, agreed. Hey Yats, brother. Ew. He then proceeds to wait about 4 seconds before he then asks if he can give me his number. I say no and walk away back to my group. The guy then proceeds to keep watching me, and I wake up one of my friends and tell him what is going on. And I just keep talking to him so the guy sees that I'm with a group of people. Now, no, I didn't wake up my fiance, and they put on a edit too that the fiance was falling asleep, was asleep on her lap prior to them getting up as well.
Okay.
And sorry for the gremlin noises.
Like, what
The
is that?
corgi is going crazy. I probably should have, but I wanted to let him sleep. When he does wake up, sit next to him and tell him that there's a guy that is staring at me and he asked for my number. The guy stares down my fiance. I'm not sure how long, but eventually, as 8 a.m. rolls around, more and more people start showing up for their flight. And I notice the guy walks off. It wasn't until after the trip I realized the guy never got on the flight to New York, and he also didn't appear to have any type of luggage with him, not even a backpack. In retrospect, it
Ooh.
was weird, and it was only after that I realized what situation I could have been in. But I also don't know if I'm overthinking it. Anyways, that's my story. If you read it, thank you. As always, keep doing what you guys do. And this one is from Pearly Cupcake.
Well, also, I made you bigger just so that people could see Kevin, and then he went right where my my image is. Yeah, potentially. I don't have much knowledge in the realm of trafficking. It could be just a creep that doesn't understand how flirting works or how boundaries work. Could be that as well. An airport is not a place to, find love. That's not a place where people go for that. It's usually very stressful. People are, at their wits' end, and it's not a great place to meet someone. That's where you go to a bar or a club. Like those are more places to try and find someone. Also, like weird to start off with a compliment about your lips.
Body.
Yeah, any type of like that, like crazy. Start with a hi, or like, I don't know. Not at the airport. At the end of the day, not at the airport. And then take no for an answer when she says no. I think that's an easy thing to do, but I guess not for some people.
I literally look like a goblin when I go to the airport.
Yeah, same.
I'm like, I don't want to be here. The seats are so compact together. I don't like it. I stress out in the airport. I'm sweaty. It's hot. Not the room temperature is crazy high in that scenario. And I think you said it best in the middle of the story there too, take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Like, don't like if someone is saying like, hey, I'm good. Even if they said like no initially, don't keep badgering and say like, hey, can I give you my number instead? No, motherfucker, they already said no first time around. So
Exactly.
I'm glad you made it out safe, OP. Thank you for sending that in. That is a scary situation to be in, and we're glad that you're okay.
100%. Yeah. All right. Did we want to do one of mine? How many listeners submitted do you have, John?
I have 5.
Okay. I think I have 5 stories as well.
All right. Well,
it's like we planned it. We
like
did not.
Do we ever plan?
No, I was like scrambling for stories this afternoon because I was editing all morning. So I was like, well, we'll try with the ones I picked out, which are all from Best of Redditor updates. So I have not read most of these, but they come with trigger warnings, thankfully, which is always nice for me anyway, because I don't have to remember to do it. So this first one is from Best of Redditor updates from Choice Lower Score Evidence 1983. And the title is, Am I Wrong for Siding with My Mom when she told my wife she isn't family?
Whoa.
Also, shout out to I can't read that far away. Daryl Wiggins for sending $2 says Shiba dog shaking his body from left to right, surrounded by. Oh, it's an emoji. I'm an idiot. I just read it.
I was like, that's a corgi.
No, but it's the emoji. But shout out to you. What are you saying to this one? Mom told his wife she isn't family.
I don't know, bro. Like, I would fight the mom.
Okay. All right.
It's like, what are you trying to say?
Fair. The trigger warnings for this one are interesting. I've breaking and entering and possible threats. I'd never heard of breaking and entering being a trigger warning, but I guess so.
That's a crime.
Yeah, it is. This was originally posted on September 15th, 2024, and it goes like this. My beautiful wife, Zoe, and I have been married for a year. I have a 10-year-old sister, Liv, who is very shy, quiet, well-behaved kid. With her parents or super close family friends, she is sassy, funny, outgoing, but around most adults, she is super reserved. Zoe and Liv have an okay relationship, but I wouldn't say they are very close. Liv hates the movie character Krampus. When she was 4, she went downstairs on Christmas Eve, and my mom and her friend were watching the movie in the dark living room, and it scared the shit out of her. It's not like she's still super scared of it, but she definitely still hates it. That's fair. Krampus is pretty scary.
Yeah, if Sean was here, he'd also be freaking out.
Yeah. Liv hates... we were recently staying with my family while in between places for just a month, and Zoe found a Halloween mask that looked similar to Krampus at her friend's house and thought it'd be hilarious to prank Liv. I really don't think she had bad intentions. She has a mischievous streak, and it was totally something Liv's dad would do. So Zoe woke up with the mask, and Liv didn't think it was funny, and basically just wouldn't talk to her.
I'd be livid.
Oh,
you saw that
man.
live, people.
Oh, that was a tough one.
Well,
my mom came into our room and very aggressively told Zoe, quote, if you ever go into my sleeping child's room again, we are going to have a huge problem. Zoe tried to say she was just playing around, and she didn't think they would get mad, as Liv's dad does the same thing, or does stuff like that. My mom said, he's her fucking dad, and you aren't family. Zoe was furious and asked if I was really not going to defend her. I said, you're 100% my family, but Liv probably doesn't think of you as family, and that's understandable. My mom even clarified that is what she meant. She said she considers her husband family, but would never ask us to, and she told Zoe to accept that she isn't Liv's family. Zoe is furious with me for not standing up for her. I feel my mom was mostly right. Liv doesn't view Zoe as family and is more closed off and reserved to her versus her dad, who she is 100% comfortable with and would feel like she could get back at. Zoe is my family, but it seems weird to push her on to my family. So Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people on the comments are already saying it as well, that that's not okay what they did.
To
Yes, it would have
prank
been
a
nice
child like
to prank a
that?
child. Yeah. It
Yeah,
would have been nice to, for the husband to defend the wife. Yeah, in most circumstances, but I'm not going to defend my wife if they clearly did something wrong.
for sure.
I'd tell them like, hey, uh, it's good that it was clarified that what the mom meant was like, hey, y- Liv probably doesn't view you as family. That misunderstanding was like the way they was presented. Like, yeah, I mean, I'd be pissed if like, I'm someone I knew got pranked like that, especially with something that they were scared of ever since childhood. That might be traumatizing for them to see that kind of like mask. So
For sure.
I think it was justifiable that, the husband didn't really protect the wife because they did something fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. I think in an ideal world, you think of your, you know, brother or sister or children's partners as family, but that doesn't mean that everyone is going to think that way. And so, like a 10-year-old might not consider you family yet, especially if you're doing shit like this. So, yeah, I'm gonna go not the asshole because I think what she did, you know, it warranted that reaction. And to lay boundaries, the mom to lay boundaries was absolutely called for. So I agree. And I agree with Eunice, who says, "Can we go back to harmless pranks?" And I agree. I like harmless pranks, not traumatizing pranks.
Yeah,
And also, before we get into the update,
sure.
shout out Mad Hatter Gal for subbing for 5 months. They say, "I'm happy to be here for my first live. I love your guys' videos. When I'm a very terrible day, you guys always cheer me up." So shout out Mad Hatter Gal for subbing.
Thank you, Mad Hatter Gal.
All right. So this update happened again on September 15th, 11 hours later.
Ooh.
Well, my last post got a lot of attention and was a lot more decisive than I was expecting. I'd like to clarify some things. I do think of Zoe as my family. She's the most important family in my life. Liv is my half sister, and I don't have a relationship with her dad, my mom's husband, though I know that might scandalize some of you with your views of family. I would never prank Liv because we don't have that relationship, so I was pretty horrified that my wife pranked her. My mom never forced her husband on me, so I stand by not forcing Zoe on Livy. Also, I keep going back between Zoe and Zoe. It's Zoe. I'm not sure which one it is.
Let's go with Zoe. Keep it consistent because I'm gonna mix them up together. Even if
I'm
it's
going to
the same
keep mixing it
person.
up.
No! The shelf life of my meds is only like 1 more hour. Don't make me work too much.
Well, I just wanted to let you all know that we are now no contact with my family. So the Krampus prank took place Friday night, and I haven't really been home since due to crazy work hours. I got home and found Zoe hysterical. I've never seen her like that. She was on the verge of a panic attack and couldn't stop crying. My mom's husband came in and in a really mocking voice said, "It's just a prank, bro." Like he was trying to be some cool TikTok kid.
I just stabbed you, bro. Sorry.
While I was gone, my mom told Zoe that they were going out for dinner with Liv. So Zoe was home alone, and my mom's husband and some of their piece of shit friends staged a break-in. They had ski masks and ropes, and obviously Zoe thought she was going to die. Then Liv popped out giggling like crazy, and Zoe realized what was going on. I don't agree with what Zoe did to Livy, but it's nothing compared to this sadistic shit. I actually hit my stepdad, which is crazy because he's a black belt and I might regret it in the morning, but I've never been so pissed. I told my mom I would never forgive her. She's been screaming about how she was in my child's fucking bedroom. She had no right, blah, blah, blah. I am done. We got our shit and went to a motel. Honestly, what sucks is my godfather was involved and I always thought he was a cool dude, but whatever, he picked his sides. Screw them. So, I mean, I feel like I feel like two wrongs don't make a right, and that was a crazy escalation of things. You know what I mean? Like, probably good that you're going no contact with your family because I mean,
So many things could have happened. What if they were
yeah.
strapped?
Yeah, oh, 100%. She could have easily like hurt someone. They could have accidentally hurt her, like with her struggling or something like that. Like, there's tons of things that could have gone wrong here, where it's an escalation that didn't need to happen. You laid down your boundaries with her, and hopefully, if she respects that, right? That's what's supposed to happen. Oh,
And this is family?
apparently. No,
My
she doesn't.
God.
They don't consider her family.
That's true. Oh my God. The way. Oh man. I'm just glad no one got hurt, possibly mentally traumatized,
Oh, for
emotionally
sure.
drained, but
I feel
that's still
Zoe
a
won't.
lot.
Yeah, I feel Zoe won't be able to be home alone for a while.
No.
Like, that's
Hell
something
nah.
that's traumatizing. Yeah, like was she in the wrong in the beginning? For sure, but it didn't need to be this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A harmless prank, maybe, but this is like a traumatic prank. Ugh, fucking
Yeah.
wild.
For sure, no contact. That's craziness right there.
100%. 100%.
I'm gonna pick a happy one next. 'Cause
Okay, good.
I have one that's really, really sad. So I don't know if I should save that in the middle or towards the end. Y'all pick for me, okay?
Sad sandwich. Classic Sean.
We could do a sad sandwich. That one was actually a personal story from a friend. So I just messaged them before we went on live. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna read this. Is this okay? And I'm like, and I'm so sorry that you went through all this shit. So
Oh wow.
all right, well, let's kind of do a kind of okay one, like a little happier one.
Okay.
So this one is actually from Bunyan Minion 420.
Oh,
Love
Sean's
that.
favorite.
Sean's favorite. Subscribe to our $25 tier and you might just get some bonus content.
Just for clarification, there is
It
no
doesn't
$25 here.
The title for this one is Today I Fucked Up Listening to Reddit on Wiki in Public.
Well, I can already see many ways this goes.
That's your first mistake, listening to three dumbasses.
Yeah, well, I meant like the dumb shit we say out loud. Yeah, I could see that going terribly.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so it goes as this. It's 9 a.m. and I'm at my new gym. It's much busier than I expected, and I don't know anyone yet, but that's fine. The machines I wanted are open enough to rotate around people. It's leg day, so after warming up, I get to the leg press. I turn on Reddit on Ricky. That's
Hey,
the
shout
joke
out.
for some people. And I'm able to put a heavier weight on the last time, so I'm excited. 2 reps in, and now I have a neighbor on leg lifts. We exchange a nod and continue. I'm getting tired by rep 4 when out of nowhere, Seent, Geosh, spelled Geosh and Seent, and Jine
Yep.
start describing anal beads with their faces on them.
Oh no. What episode was that? I don't
have
remember
no
that.
Mid score is the GOAT. Should probably have some sort of information about it, but I don't remember. I
shit.
absolutely lose it. I crumple into myself, curled into the leg press machine, heaving and ungracefully departing this world due to laughter and exhaustion.
Oh god.
I am now aware it did not look like laughter to my neighbor or other gym goers who were very alarmed and tried to help me.
Oh no, yes, I could see that.
I should also mention it was the end of the row by the wall and only had one small ear pod in that they did not see from the other side, along with a lifelong case of resting bitch face. So to them, it looked like I had no headphones in and was stoically training to avenge someone's death. The only coherent and ultimately redeeming thought that my inner voice kept chanting was, do not talk about personalized anal beads for strangers at the gym. I'm now writing this after finishing on other machines and cycling to cool down. I've counted 6 bombastic side eyes, and a trainer has passed me 4 times with a look of concern.
Oh man, that is so. I'm sorry for ruining your PB. Oh That is super unfortunate. I could also see like, yeah, if you saw that at the gym, I would be very concerned about that person. I'd be like, oh, they have hurt themselves and I need to help them. But God, that is
I also messaged this person who sent it to us on Discord. They said, "Oh, I'm sorry in advance for that story. I've since changed the time I go to the gym by a few hours earlier, and hopefully anyone who witnessed has forgotten anyway."
yo, okay. I don't know if anyone else experiences this. This is a going to the gym experience. It doesn't matter what time we go to the gym. There's always like one or two people there that I'm like, I see you every time we're here. Like, do you have that?
I do. I have a couple people.
Yeah, it's like because we usually go in the morning, but then we sometimes we'll go like midday because whatever, Sienna's off or something like that, and we'll go, and that same person will be there, and I'm like, are we in a simulation? Like I'm like freaking out a little bit here.
Honestly, they're probably thinking the same thing.
I
And
know.
I don't ever wear contacts, so like reading this is like difficult for me. I have to like, if you see the text on my screen, it's literally like large. And I have this stupid thing that I do where it's like I just stare off a distance half the time, and I don't realize that I might be staring at someone, and I'll look creepy as hell. And I'm like pacing around, looking with like like a blank stare in my eyes. There's nothing going on in my head most of the time. So sometimes I catch myself like, oh shit, have I been staring at this person for like
Yeah, you're just zoned out, and then you're
I
like,
am zoned out.
Shit.
Literally, the only place that no thoughts are going in my head is at the gym. Usually, 1,000 miles per hour is going on in my head, but every time I'm there, I'm just like, yeah, there's nothing. It's empty.
Hey, yeah, so that's all the NPCs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Laura, I do dissociate a lot when I'm there.
It
It's
happens.
my only safe place.
All right. Moving into the next story here. This one actually was cross-posted on Best of Redditor Updates by Direct Midscore Caterpillar 77, who I think has actually posted on Reddit on Wiki before. So I don't know if they're just like a famous Reddit on Wiki or Reddit poster. I have no idea. But anyway, the title for this one is, "Am I the asshole for implying my friends are being cheap over my wedding?" Speaking of weddings.
I mean, not everyone's financial situations are the same. If you impose such crazy demands for weddings, I feel like if you have a certain vision for your wedding, you have to also provide that for, other people to at least attain that level. So I don't know. To me, if I want something specific, I'd cover the cost for that, because I hate imposing that on people to like, hey, spend an extra X amount just because we can't possibly in the same, financial situation or life situation. I just hate to do that on people.
For sure. And just Midscore commented, just letting us know about the anal beads. Said we were talking about making it as merch, which I do vaguely remember.
I don't remember any of this.
What else have we've talked about making like asshole plushies? Did we do that?
Jesus Christ, we talked about this?
I think we did, yeah. Pringle can.
Yeah, we just got angry message.
Yeah, we got an angry Venmo in a couple weeks. You'll see that. But yeah, I forget what that was.
Not really an angry Venmo, but
no. But yeah. Anyway, Midscore says Midscore Caterpillar is the moderator of Best of Redditor Updates. Ah, okay. That actually is very helpful. I didn't know that. So they are a prolific Redditor then. All right. So once again, this is "Am I an asshole for implying my friends are being cheap over my wedding?" Posted September 22nd. So throwaway because I know my friends use Reddit. I, 38 female, am marrying my fiance, 38 male, next year. I'm the last of my friends to get married, and honestly, I'd made my peace with being single and getting a dog before I met my fiance. I'm part of a group of 6 girlfriends who have all known each other since college. We've been going through everything together. Breakups, holidays, weddings, babies, promotions. When I told them I got engaged, they seemed happy and sent me congratulations messages. But when everyone else got engaged, they threw them parties or went out to dinner to celebrate. They didn't in my case. I gave them nearly a year's notice on my bachelorette party, which I'm keeping low key as I don't want a big thing. We're going in for dinner and drinks at one of my favorite restaurants in our city. However, slowly, all of my friends have been dropping out saying they can't get a babysitter or they have to work late or they're on a work trip. I obviously invited them all to the wedding as well, which again is a small affair, and one has already messaged the group chat saying she's not sure she can get a babysitter for that day. My wedding is months away, and I'm finding it really hard to believe that she knows that far in advance. Two others have also said they're not going to stay for the reception as they will be tired by then. So it sounds like your friends are pretty shitty, to be honest, because that's long enough in advance that you can find a babysitter or get time off work. You know what I mean? Like, if you care about your friend, you can try.
Agreed.
Here's where I may be the asshole. The straw that broke the camel's back was when I sent a link to the registry. My fiance and I already have a house together, so we're asking for mostly small things. Nothing goes beyond $50, and we were delighted with anything that anyone chooses to buy us. They sent a message in the chat saying they were going to band together to get me an air fryer as a group gift. It costs $40, so I was a bit surprised to see that they are all chipping in about $8 each. Over the years, I must have spent thousands of dollars on their weddings, 2 of which were overseas. I have attended dinners and brunches to celebrate their job promotions and bought gifts for their babies, all the while feeling terrible about myself watching all my friends celebrate the happiness I never thought I'd get. I sent a message just asking for clarification if it was all of them buying it together, and one replied asking if I was calling them cheap, and then there has been dead silence since. That wasn't really my intention, but it really feels like because I'm last, they're just over having to do these events, and it's really feeding into my insecurities at getting married so late. But they do have legitimate reasons for feeling these things. They all have lives and kids and maybe not as much money as when we were a bit younger. And so maybe I'm just letting my insecurities get in the way. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
I gotta say no in this situation. It feels like a lot of their ask is attainable. And I think they were already self-aware from the jump that, hey, we might not be in the same situation financial wise. Yes, you have kids, you have your own lives to tend to. However, what they were asking for is not egregious in any sort of way.
No.
They're just expecting, it sounded like a low-key bachelorette party, like a low-key get-together. Hell, even the
Gifts under $50?
Gifts under $50 is, I get it. Weddings are very expensive in a way, and it does cause a lot of like financial strain on people. That part I can get. Both the people having the wedding and the people attending it could be a factor. That part I understand, but
For sure.
this OP doesn't sound like they're asking for a lot, and they're just asking for like company and just to enjoy. Yes, I don't like it when people bring up like, I did this for you in the past, therefore you should do it for me. Like, for me personally, I don't like doing that. But she's not asking for anything crazy. If that was me, if I was OP in this situation, since to me, I feel like they never really expected that they were gonna get, having that wedding in the future, I would honestly just elope. I'd just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll just celebrate with like a close knit people, maybe my parents, my spouse's parents, and all that, and like a good set of friends, like 5 or 6 people, and just have a small intimate ceremony. I'm not gonna go do all this shit because and to have bridesmaids and to have a party that doesn't really give a damn about like my special day. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep it intimate to like a small circle of friends and keep it cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be getting new friends after this because
For
these
sure.
don't sound like many of our comments are saying these don't sound like friends. Like most friends would just drop everything to be there for you, especially when you give them such a heads up in advance. Like, hey, the wedding's a year out. Can you plan around that? Like, that's not a big ask. And you're not asking them to go overseas. You're asking them to a small thing. You were hoping that they would throw you some sort of celebration party, which again, I think is pretty normal, especially if you've done
Standard,
that for
yeah.
every single friend since then. Like these aren't your friends. They are people that might have been your friends at one point, but clearly have grown past you for whatever reason, or you've grown past them. Like that happens. It's just it's shitty to find out in one of the your most important day of your life, one of them anyway. And so yeah, it's really shitty. I think you should move on, find other people to hang out with that actually care and are willing to put in the effort to your friendship. So
part of me is wondering though, what did you do to your friends for them to treat you that way?
you never know. It could just be like because OP has been single, no kids. Like you do have different lives, right? And so it is harder to connect as much with friends that are going through different things in their life at that time. So it is sometimes just things that happen. There could also be something that created this. You never know. But anyway, let's hop into the update, which was also posted on the same day.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I didn't think I would have to give an update, but I wanted to repay everyone's kindness. Some people have said some really lovely and helpful things. First off, I want to clarify a few questions that were asked. I didn't care at all what they bought us as a gift. I didn't care if they got us a gift at all. It was never about the air fryer. I wasn't really calling them cheap. I was just clarifying it was coming from all of them. I also didn't ask if they were getting us a gift. They brought this up themselves. I couldn't put my finger on why it made me feel a bit weird. I think the word I was searching for was disrespect. Someone said an $8 gift is worse than no gift at all, and I think that's the heart of it. The money issue came up as well. As far as I know, all my friends are fairly solvent. We all work in the financial field, mostly as accountants. 3 are very senior in their firms, and all of their husbands have good jobs, but we never discuss money, and I know kids and cost of living is high at the moment, so I never want to assume anyone's financial status, but everyone seems okay. The other issue was, and I think that's like, I don't think the money part was the main issue, right? It seems like just the lack
effort.
of care and effort.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. The other issue was a lot of people asked how often we see each other, and the answer is quite regularly. We made a pact years ago to meet up at least once a month, no matter how crazy life gets, and we've mostly been able to stick to that. The 6 of us usually meet for Sunday brunch. Apart from that, I live in the same neighborhood as 2 of them, so we do dinner.
Poison them next brunch.
Jesus.
Laxatives.
I have to put up a disclaimer now that we're live.
It was going on in my head the whole time. I'm like, I'm just gonna say it.
The views of John do not what is it called? Represent
Does not
Reddit on
reflect.
Wiki.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So the 6 of us have been able to meet up for Sunday brunch where we don't get poisoned. Apart from that, I live in the same neighborhood as 2 of them, so we do dinner occasionally, and parties for their kids, etc., are a must. The last question was, my wedding isn't child-free and is in our city. I love kids, and my friends' kids are surrogate nieces and nephews to me, and they are all invited. The friend who said she couldn't find childcare said she didn't want to bring her kids because she said weddings are easier without them, which I mean, fair, but that's on you to find the babysitter, right? Lastly, some suggested that they don't like my fiance. They've never
said that on the comments. I gotta go down.
Ooh. Okay, you find that. I'll finish up this
find
paragraph. They've never given me the impression. Everyone seems to get along well. They've known him for 2 years, and he occasionally goes golfing with some of their husbands. Did you find who it was?
I'm still looking, brother.
Okay, I'll go into the next paragraph, which is the actual update. So, reading the comments was like having cold water thrown over me. I've never considered myself the outsider friend, but a lot of people suggested that I was, and it really threw me and got me really overwhelmed. I didn't send any message to the group chat, even though lots of the commenters gave me really good suggestions about what to write, and I withdrew into myself until my fiance prided out of me what was wrong. I showed him the post, and he got super quiet and really, really angry. I've never seen him this angry over anything. He asked if I had spoken to them about this, and I said no. He then started to call them individually and read them the riot act. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that means.
And also, I gave up on looking because I'm like, I want to hear a story and I can't focus on two things at a time.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. He called them $8 assholes and said he would be sending them an itemized list of thousands of dollars I'd spent on them over the years. He called bullshit on the one who said she couldn't get a babysitter, and she indeed said she was sick of having to go to the same boring wedding over and over, and yours won't be any different. Oof. And then he lost it at her. I hate the idea of him fighting my battles for me, so I asked him to stop after the third person. I sent a message into the group chat asking if we could all speak as a group, and the three he called sent a voice message saying that my fiance was a psycho and that they wouldn't speak to me anymore. I just felt really tired and defeated, so I sent a message saying that if they didn't want to be friends anymore, that was fine, and to consider their invitation withdrawn to the bachelorette and wedding. No one has replied, so I guess we're done. I suppose I'm better off, but I don't feel that way. I just feel numb and sad. They've been such a big part of my life for so long, and I really feel the loss, and I'm so sad I won't see their kids anymore. Some of them referred to me as auntie, and it's making me cry that I won't see them grow up. My fiance has apologized for rushing in and not asking me how I wanted to handle it, and I've accepted. We're good, and I'm looking forward to our life together. I mostly wanted to say thank you for the kind Redditors that showed me the light about this and offered congratulations on our wedding, and even offered to buy us gifts. I've never watched Sex in the City, but I'll watch that episode that some people mentioned. It seems like I'll relate, which the episode was season 6, episode 9, A Woman's Right to Shoes. Apparently that was a plot line. So
Okay.
that's basically it. What do you guys think?
The way I would keep gassing up my fiance, be like, you're flaming the fuck out of these $8 assholes, baby boy. Keep going. You want some tea? I'll make you some tea if you run out of like voice from yelling at them. My God, these group of friends suck. I'll say petty revenge. If they end up going to your wedding, which they probably won't, send them an anonymous bag of dicks. Actually,
Ooh.
make it a power play. Don't even make it anonymous. Say it came from me, you $8 assholes. Bag of dicks. That's all you deserve.
Hell yeah. I agree. I think had the fiance kept going after the third call after you stopped, I would have been like, all right, that's a bit of a red flag. But it seems like he actually cares about you, and
that's not a red flag. That's a green ass flag.
That's a green flag. I'm saying if he kept going, and disregarded what you said.
If he kept going, I'd be like, hell yeah, keep going.
Right, but she didn't say that. She wanted him to stop. But yeah, I 100%. I think that's a green flag. Him standing up for you no matter what. To these. Yeah, like you said, disrespectful friends. Like saying your wedding's not going to be any different than anyone else's. That's not the fucking point. You're supposed to be there for my wedding because we're friends. You're supposed to care about that. You're supposed to care about me, my happiness, my wedding, like this achievement in my life, because I've celebrated all of your achievements in your life because I care about you as a person. So not doing that for your friend is such a shitty thing to do. It's not about the $8. It's not about the air fryer. It's about the disrespect that your friends are showing you, or your so-called friends are showing you. So 100%, like cut them off, find new friends that actually care.
Good riddance.
Honor. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, have a happy life with your protective fiance, that would read riot acts on people. You must have been bricked up seeing that.
Leminion sends $2 and says, "Have please." I don't.
Oh,
so thank you for that.
you.
But yes,
I'll take. Thank you.
I'll take. Yes, thank you. But yes, I will. I do have to go to the bathroom. I'm pulling a Sean right now, John. But if you want, you can start the next story. I don't want to make the.
I can start. So this is the one that I warned you about early, Josh. So go ahead. You can take a little.
Oh, perfect. Break. So I'm missing the sad one. This is good for me.
It'll be good for you. So you can go ahead and zoom me in if you like. All right, Wikimaniacs. I did warn you. This one is going to be kind of sad. So I will give a little bit of a trigger warning. Hopefully, Josh is not going to hear this, but there will be trigger warning for the story. This one actually came from a personal friend of mine. So I'm not going to say their name. So, but I texted them already saying, hopefully everything's okay. And they're doing fine. They're so much happier now. Actually attended their wedding. So, and they're about to have a kid soon. So congratulations. to the both of you, but this is what happened to their life a few years ago. Here we go. Trigger warning for this story, Wikimaniacs. There will be death involving murder. There'll be depression and mention of self-harm, plus a lot of traumatic experiences. So if this is not for you, please kindly mute this, or we'll see you on the next story. Give me about like 10 minutes for this story. All right. The title of this story is My Birthday is Tainted by a Traumatizing Anniversary Every Year. Hello, Reddit on Wiki fam. This is my first Reddit post ever, so bear with me. Consider this a true off my chest post. I just needed to vent, and who better to react than the boys? Buckle up, because this is a little bit of a wild ride. Let's go back to the end of 2019. I had just gotten my dream promotion, was in a happy relationship, and life was good. I felt positive and like everything was looking up, then entered the doom of 2020. Unfortunately, the job and promotion I worked almost 4 years for was in the events industry. So once shit hit the fan with COVID, I quickly became unemployed for the first time in my life. Not even 6 months into my new role. In addition to my sudden unemployment, I found out that the guy I was dating was an absolute and total pathological liar and cheating on me with numerous people. Let me dive into how absolutely insane this guy was for a minute. Let's call him Bryson. That's a red flag name already. Bryson? Are you kidding me? Everyone loved Bryson. He was charismatic, charming, and everyone in my life was convinced he was the one. Unfortunately, almost everything about him aside from his name was completely fabricated. He would spend the night with me, set an alarm, wake up, change into his uniform, and go to work. When in reality, he was actually unemployed and sneaking off to another person's house during a day so he had somewhere to stay. Apparently, he told this other person he worked night shift, when really he was with me. He literally would put on a uniform, a blue polo, and khaki pants, just to keep up with the lies. He once lost his wallet on a date, made a big show of looking for it, calling over the manager, talking to the staff to help him look for it. And I, feeling bad, ended up paying for everything. He truly made such a show of it, and I didn't think twice about it. He also had this sob story about how he was helping out his female roommate with rent because she was unemployed and going through a tough time. So she was frequently strapped for cash and gave me IOUs. So basically, Josh, what you missed out there, I don't know if you heard, but there's a trigger warning for this one. It involves,
I didn't hear.
Okay. It involves death involving murder.
Oh, wow.
There's depression and mention of self-harm plus traumatic experiences. But basically, how it went in the beginning, it introduced this red flag of a guy that my friend was dating at the time. He was a piece of shit.
Name's Bryson, so it's already a red flag.
There you go.
I can see that in
basically,
chat.
Piece of shit. That's what you need to hear. She lost her job initially before when 2020 happened.
Okay.
So to continue with the story. Again, I never thought twice about it because of how realistic he made it sound with all the details. Also, he always eventually paid me back. Later, I found out that when his IOUs got too big, he would help watch his best friend's sick mom and steal money from her to pay people back.
Holy shit.
I found out the whole roommate thing was a lie, when eventually she called me telling me that it was him who owed her money and not the other way around. After talking to the roommate, I also found out that she thought I wasn't his girlfriend, and that she thought he was gay because he frequently bought some guy over and slept with him. She also thought he would work as a realtor, while I thought he was working at a warehouse. The lies just unraveled from there.
This guy just sounds like a what's it called? A consistent liar, chronic liar.
Was that pathological liar?
Pathological. That's the actual word. I said every word except for that.
Yeah, this guy sounds unhinged.
Yeah, 100%.
I remembered one day he needed to print out his resume at my house. I found a way to pull it up and study the shit out of it. I spiraled and called every past job, every past place of education he had written on his resume, every single thing, including his education history, was a lie.
Oh,
this guy's
so nothing's real.
Nothing. Sorry, I burped. I was devastated. Within a month, I was devastated. Within a month, my life went from one of my highest points ever to my absolute lowest low. I was depressed, betrayed, deceived, lost, so lost. It got to the point where I had friends worried I was going to harm myself and begged me to go to therapy. Eventually, I did, and used my new free time to work on myself instead of sitting in the darkness and dread that COVID brought. In therapy, I was encouraged to join a couple of Facebook support groups where people were also healing from traumatic relationship experiences. It was in one of these groups that I found Rico. He was healing from a long term relationship that went south and just wanted a friend to vent to. When we found out we both liked EDM music and lived in the same area, we instantly hit it off. We would chat on the phone for hours, talk about our personal growth and self reflection. We would go to each other's house and cook dinner and hang out, and frequently had little house parties with just the two of us, where we watched virtual concerts and just danced in the living room. It sounds so wholesome.
Yeah, it does.
It was so healing, and I truly believe some people come into your life for a reason. And Rico was an angel sent to me for a specific time in my life. We called each other our cheerleaders and encouraged therapy and healthy personal growth. We stayed close for the majority of the crazy year that was 2020. In time, I started to develop feelings for Rico. When I brought it up, he said he wasn't interested in me or any type of relationship at the time and very kindly rejected me. I understood, but I had also grown enough in therapy and through my friendship with him that I started it was not healthy for me to stay as close to him. And for my own mental health, I needed a break and some space. He understood and respected my decision completely. Also,
Good communication.
I love hearing that.
This
That's
is great.
very respectful on both parties. During our break, I ventured back into the dating world, where, spoiler alert, I ended up meeting my now husband, Connor. Connor and I were freshly dating when one
Red
day,
flag.
that's actually the name of the husband in real life.
I'm just kidding.
She's going to watch this and be like, well, you know what, Connor, you are a red flag. You said Breath of the Wild was a terrible game. And you know what? I stick with that. You are a fucking red flag, Connor.
No, I just knew Connor in high school and he was a wild dude.
Just kidding. Connor's cool. I love Connor. During our break, I ventured back into the dating world, where, spoiler alert, I ended up meeting my now husband, Connor. I totally just read that. Connor and I were freshly dating when one day Rico reached out to me again. Jesus Christ, I totally forgot. He said he missed me and that he had continued in therapy and was finally ready for a relationship again. He said he wasn't asking for or expecting anything, but if I was still interested, he wouldn't say no to a date and seeing where things went with us. It was now my turn to kindly reject him as I was pretty serious about Connor, but told him I missed him as well and he was ready to rekindle the friendship. I was about to head out of town for a wedding in Colorado and we made plans to meet up once I was back in town to catch up in person. I encouraged him to go back on the dating apps and told him I was still his cheerleader and hoping he would find love again. And this is where things get heavy, Josh.
Oh no.
And Wikimaniacs. This conversation haunts me to this day. While in Colorado at this wedding, I got a phone call from Rico's best friend, and I remember the somberness in his voice when he told me Rico was dead. Rico went back on the dating apps like I encouraged him to do, and was again on a mission to find love. Unfortunately, with some cruel twist of fate, the first girl he went on a date with from a dating app had an ex-boyfriend who was secretly stalking her. The ex-boyfriend stalked them on their date, followed Rico home, and shot him in the head.
Jesus.
He died before he made it to the hospital. I remember his friend asking me if I was there on the phone. All I could hear was a ringing in my head as a full-blown panic attack started. I told him to go back on the apps. It was my fault. What if I agreed to a date? This would have never happened. Dead. Rico is dead. He's dead and I haven't talked to him for the past few months. He's dead and I'm never going to see him again. He's dead and I'm never going to listen to EDM music in his living room with him again. It's my fault. Somehow this is my fault. Somehow he's dead because of me. I hung up the phone and cried my eyes out for hours. And unfortunately, at this wedding in Colorado, I drank and drank and drank until I blacked out from my sorrow and pain. I woke up the next morning to literally every person in the wedding party being mad at me, filling me in that I was a hot mess, and was rolling around on the ground crying at one point and texting people on my phone drunk, so they took my phone away. And I apparently also, in my blackout, went up to the groom and told him that his mom was being a bitch during the wedding. My friendship with all these people has since been scared, and we haven't spoke since. I flew back to Texas and spoke with Rico's best friend and sister about the funeral arrangements, and I couldn't shake this black hole in my chest of him just being gone from this world. And a few days later, it was my birthday. Correction, our birthday. We shared more than just a friendship, we also shared a birth date. It's been years now, but every year around my birthday, it all comes rushing back. How my year started, how important Rico was to me, how I still have this feeling of guilt that this fucked up situation is somehow my fault, how he's just gone, how I ruined numerous friendships with getting blackout drunk at the wedding. Rico was a doctor, helping people during the pandemic, and he was a light that was snuffed out too soon from this world, from a random act of violence, from the selfish person thinking only about themselves. I miss you, friend. Happy heavenly birthday, and thank you for being a light in my life, even if it was for a short time. I'm trying. It was first time reading that. Like I did, like tear up a little bit. And I texted my friend immediately. I'm like,
Oh, this is your friend directly?
This is my friend directly.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was like, oh my fucking God, I'm so sorry you went through all that.
Yeah, that is such an awful thing to go through. Like, as many of the commenters or chat, that's what we call them here, have been saying, it's obviously not your fault, OP. Like that, nothing you could have done would have prevented that. Like, you encouraged them to get it back into the dating pool, for like good reasons, right? And you did it as like, there's no way you could have seen this coming. You know what I mean? Like the amount of people I've convinced to go back into the dating pool where this could have happened to anyone. You know what I mean? So I understand why you feel that way that you felt. But I hope you've come around to realizing that it's not your fault. And I hope nothing but the worst for that guy who did that. Because God, like some people are just fucking evil people.
They exist, unfortunately. And I know people are asking if the perpetrator was in jail. I don't want to ask personally, just because I don't want them to relive that.
Yeah.
If I texted them beforehand, like, hey, I'm gonna read this story today on a live stream if it's okay with you, and they listen to the show, they're a patron as well. So whenever they're ready, if they want to discuss if this person has been apprehended, it'll be on their own terms. So I'll just wait for that, but I'm not going to ask Wikimaniacs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I told you that one's going to be really heavy, brother.
That's a hard one to pivot from. Yeah. Wishing nothing but the best for OP. Hope she's doing well now. And yeah, she's married to Connor now. Sounds like
married to Connor, having a baby pretty soon. Congratulations!
Congratulations. So, that's
so
awesome.
Happy for them. And bought a new house recently too. So they're living their best life right now.
Good. Awesome. Well, I don't know how to pivot from that one. But we'll try our best to go into best of Redditor updates here. This one shouldn't be as heavy. Again, I haven't read these ones. I'm reacting to it live with you guys as well. But this one is titled, "My boyfriend did not give me the first slice of cake."
Asshole.
Cross-posted by Direct Midscore Caterpillar 77, who is apparently a mod on Best of Redditor updates. So shout out to you. And this was posted September 8th, 2024. So I, 20 female, am from Brazil. And here it is tradition that in a birthday party, the person whose birthday is being celebrated gives the first slice of cake to their favorite person after everyone sings the birthday song. Can you see where this is going? This week was my boyfriend's 24 male, and he just had 3 celebrations. one with his birth family, one with his adoptive family, and one with his friends.
Damn,
Which
I want
was
all that celebration.
That's too many for me. But
As long as everyone's feeding me, I'm okay.
fair enough. Fair enough. Which was a surprise picnic that I planned and organized. He has had a very difficult life, and his moms are really important to him, as his adoptive mom saved him from starving as a kid and raised him, giving him a chance at life. And his birth mom battled very hard against poverty all her life, struggling and fighting to keep her kids alive as well. So, of course, I never expected to give me the first slice of cake at the family celebration. But then there was the picnic. I spent weeks planning and reaching out to all his childhood friends, making sure they would come. I went to bed at 2 a.m. the night before, making him his favorite cake. I spent shit tons of money with food, drinks, and gifts. I did not do it because of the first slice of cake, of course, but at the time, I couldn't think but how now it's my turn. Turns out it was not. He has a best friend of many years. She and him are like brother and sister. They went through a lot of shit together, like her losing her mom, him not having food to eat at home as a teen. And even though they are so close, they don't get the chance to see each other very often now, as they are both very busy with life and all of that shit. And all its shit. Sorry. Busy with life and all its shit. There we go. I got it. So, of course, he took the chance to show her some appreciation. She was so happy. And, of course, I understood the situation. He sees me every day and has the chance to honor me almost daily. He always makes me feel really loved, and he can't do that with her. Also, I understand he wanted to show her that him having a relationship does not mean that she is not his sister anymore, a priority in that sense. I'm not jealous because I know there is nothing romantic between them. She is pretty gay and polyamorous and polygamous. He is also the most monogamous guy in the world, and he worships me. But I couldn't help but feel at least a bit, I don't know. Do I need to explain? Maybe disappointed, maybe underappreciated. I feel like I can never be the most important person in the room. We always talk about getting married. We are each other's lives, and still. And also, he did this in front of everyone, in front of our mutual friends who don't really know her and all she means to him. So it also kind of felt embarrassing. I'm just venting. I wanted to go home and cry a bit. I know I'm being childish, but I guess I will keep it that way for now. So that is the story. I kind of butchered some of those sentences.
I mean, it's naturally okay to feel a certain type of way sometimes. Who does not like being the priority, right? But
Right.
I feel like OP is very aware that what their relationship is and what they went through together. So I mean, I think it's because it happened in a public setting, and people say things, and first of all, who gives a fuck what people think?
Yeah.
It should only matter between like you and your partner. If you guys have a mutual understanding when it comes to that, what's the harm? So
Yeah.
and like you said, seems like a good dude, worships the ground that you walk on. And they just happen to have someone in their life that they've shared common experiences with and is very close to them in a sisterly manner. So good on y'all. Again, your feelings are valid. Just who gives a fuck what people think?
Yeah, I agree. I think having a conversation with him in private later,
Yes.
just being like, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, you don't have to do anything. I'm just feeling this way. Is not a bad idea either, just so that you're open communication. Because I feel he did not mean it in any way. And I think you know that. And I think you understand why he did it, but you're still valid to feel the way you're feeling.
Personally, though, bitch, he didn't give me the first slice. Bitch. We're squaring up.
I better be getting the biggest slice of cake. That's what I'm saying.
Better be a corner piece.
And Denise sent us $2 and said, "Congrats, Josh. Hi, John. It's Denise, not Dennis. LOL."
Did I say Dennis?
You might have. I guess I don't remember that, but
I'm usually the person good with pronouncing names. I'm sorry if I fucked that up. Denise.
That's yeah. I'm usually the one that fucks it up. Or
D
Sean.
nice.
All right. So update 6 hours later. Me and my boyfriend have very different energy spams, so I usually leave hangouts a lot earlier than him, which is what happened today. So I left, posted the story on Reddit, took a shower, and started to paint my nails. About 3 hours after I left, my boyfriend calls me. I pick up and he's sobbing. Notice he does not have Reddit and does not speak English, so he didn't know about the post, and I had not talked about my feelings with him yet. So he calls me absolutely pouring, saying he was going home and he's had the best day of his life and that he loves me so much for doing that for him, and spends the next 15 minutes talking between sobs about all the effort I put into his birthday celebration, thanking me for every single one of the things I did. Then he mentioned the slice of cake. He said to me that throughout his entire life, because he has always had a birthday in his mom's house, he had never given a first slice to his best friend who went through all that with him. And that me being empathetic enough to let him do that was honestly one of the most special things I had ever done for him. He told me that she has been going through some very important stuff, and he was not around ever because work and college, and she was feeling very left behind because of this, which is a huge thing since they are basically brother and sister, as I said before. So the cake made her cry so much. It was the first time he had done this, and she finally felt like he had not forgotten about her. And then, because I made that much effort for him, he asked me to rest. He told me that this next week was going to be entirely for him to show me appreciation. He asked me to please for once not sabotage him, showing me love and pampering me because I feel like I don't deserve it, because he was going to take his savings to take me out and spend the week giving me surprises. I know him well enough to expect some love notes. He's him showing up to surprise me at my place, maybe even a song written for me.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
He also invited me to spend the weekend at his place, just the two of us. He lives with his family and they are going to the beach, leaving the house empty, so that he can cook me dinner and give me one of his 1 hour long full body massages. They are my favorite. And
there's going to be a lot of cake eating afterwards, baby.
Let's
you know
go.
what I mean. Had to do a fist bump at least once.
Had to. Then after he said all that, I took the opportunity to tell him about how I felt today. He listened quietly, and when I was finished, he apologized, saying that he did not realize how I felt, and that was not his intention. He just thought that that did not mean as much to me as it would have meant for his best friend, so he decided to honor her that way, and then honor me differently with my Princess Week. But he told me he understood how I felt and that he was sorry anyway. We talked a bit more, but we got over stuff pretty quickly, and it all ended up with us gossiping about the day, because gossip, two friends of ours don't really get along very well, apparently went back home together after getting drunk after I left.
They were also eating cake.
They were also eating cake. Well, friends, I suppose that's my update. Maybe this day Reddit realizes that emotions are complicated and life is too, which is why small moments do not define a relationship or someone's feelings. How we react to the situation and deal with it does. I love my boyfriend and he loves me a lot too, and that does not mean he does not have any found family beyond me. That also doesn't mean I'm not allowed to feel sad. I have the right to feel what I feel and to be welcomed in that feeling being valid. I will marry this man, mark my words.
You damn right you are. Did you say the story was from Brazil?
Yeah, they're from Brazil.
It's fucking fitting because this is green flags all the way.
100%. This is, such a great communication, such an open communication between them. And he listened, didn't downplay her feelings. Was like, yeah, no, you're absolutely valid. This is why I did it. And I'm gonna show you that you mean the world to me. And so. Such a great relationship. All relationships should inspire to be these ones, these nice ones that we hear.
I like that question asked by T. And the first piece of wedding cake will go to who?
Hopefully her.
And that's when the real true colors show is in a wedding.
Yeah. Man. All right. That is that one, John. You got another one?
I believe so. I think most of
did we
want stories are. Oh, go
we
ahead.
We haven't done this yet, but since everyone's here, just so you guys know, we recorded a Wednesday update, which is releasing right after this live stream, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm not going to convert that to every time zone, but basically, as soon as we end this, there'll be a Wednesday update, which is a very special one because we caused the update. So that's a tease for that. If you want to check that out, it's dropping for Patreon and YouTube members only this week, and then next week it'll drop for everyone. So if you want that today, sign up to be a patron or YouTube member.
Absolutely. And apparently, I was catching strays because I took the blame for pronouncing Denise's name wrong. It was actually you, Josh.
Oh, did it? What? On the last live chat, John, you're good. So here's more because that was hilarious. Also, almost caught up on the old episodes. Hell yeah.
Ooh, why?
Wait, did I say Dennis last time? I must have.
Probably.
Oh, my bad. Oops. And then Belle gifted one Reddit on Wiki membership. So shout out Belle. One lucky listener will be getting the Wednesday update today. So hell yeah.
A goat. All right. I'm up, right?
You're up, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be stepping on your toes today, Josh, because
my
this
God.
story
I'm leaving.
you can't do it, white man. You're contractually obligated.
Damn
you got
it.
like a solid 20 minutes left for this. This next story is coming from Esperanza, and they submitted as the listeners submitted.
Bye, Midscore.
Bye, Midscore. We love you. You're a goat forever. The title for this one is Am I the Asshole for Not Wanting to Tell a Childhood Best Friend Something That Might Cause Problems in Her Relationship and Our Friendship?
Ooh. I mean, if it's a concerning thing to tell them about their relationship, then not the asshole. You're looking out for your friend. So I'm going to say no.
All right. So background, me, female 20, and a childhood best friend of mine, Ivy, female 20, have been best friends since elementary school. She's dating a guy, Jared, red flag from Subway, male 20, and we have all known each other since elementary school. Jared and I were never close but knew of each other. In high school, the three of us worked at the same fast food job, hopefully not Subway, and I think they had dated in like middle school, but those kinds of relationships aren't typically super serious, and she had a different boyfriend in high school. At this point, I am 16, 17-ish, and as far as I knew, they were not officially together. So, onto the main issue. Jared and I were kind of being flirty, and I sent him a spicy picture, muy caliente, and they put with consent. And we had done stuff on the phone. This was over the course of like a few days. Then, maybe 1 or 2 days later, we kind of fizzled out a bit, and my next shift, I went into work. Ivy started gushing about how she thinks Jared likes her, and people keep asking her if they are together. She was so happy about it, and apparently they had been talking and hanging out for like a week or 2 now. So Jared's two-timing.
Well, wait. They didn't end up being together anyway, right? So.
Oh yeah, they just fizzled out. Yes, you're right.
I mean, yeah. So it seems all above board. Definitely something I would want to know from my friend.
Yeah. I had absolutely no clue as she didn't tell me anything prior. Sorry. And they put, even though we were close and she was my BFF, she had a closer group of friends that she hung out with that I didn't hang out with, so I would find things out about her life later than most. I immediately felt super guilty, but I didn't want to ruin her happiness, so I kept my mouth shut. They ended up getting into a relationship very soon after, and I doubled down in not telling her since she really expressed how she felt so comfortable with him. Now, it's been 3 to 4 years, and I told my current boyfriend the situation, and he thinks I should tell her about it because Ivy and Jared are still together and pretty serious.
I think like it's too late for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
And also, like, y'all weren't really together.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does this do other than just cause shit that doesn't really need to be caused?
And 16, 17-year-olds, that's, I don't know. Like, that's
like
kind of some shit you do as a 16, 17-year-old.
Exactly. So I think it's water under the bridge. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope she wouldn't care now, but she might be mad at you for waiting so long to tell her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, weird.
Yeah, well, to close it off, I feel like it's been so many years and he hasn't pursued or even talked to me in a few years. I don't want to cause problems, especially since telling the truth wouldn't really benefit anyone. So am I the asshole? And quick edit before you give that verdict, Josh. A little bit of info. They had some issues that are similar but more serious to this on both ends. Jared helped the girl move into her dorm alone and didn't tell Ivy, knowing Ivy doesn't like or trust said girl.
Mm.
Ivy slept with her ex while her and Jared were on a break and never told him. My boyfriend thought I should include this. Also, this isn't to say they aren't happy, just that they have had hiccups, which is why he thinks I'm the asshole for not telling her. In his opinion, he thinks they shouldn't be together.
I mean, I kind of agree with him, but I don't. Yeah, like the "we were on a break" thing is crazy to do. Yeah, it's Ross and Rachel. Yeah, exactly. But I still don't think it's your. Like, does it really add anything? I don't know. Like it was a 2-week situationship where you sent some spicy nudes back and forth by the sounds of it, and it never amounted to anything. I mean, I agree they probably shouldn't be together, but that doesn't mean you need to tell her about that specifically. You know what I mean? They sound like a bad relationship anyway.
So Sebastian 2426 asks, I mean, they shouldn't be together, but should OP be the catalyst?
That's what I mean. Like then all the negative energy is put on you.
Yeah.
When I don't think you deserve that or need that in your life. Like you can just be there for your friend. If they end up not being together, then I don't know. Although Writing Draft says they sound like a great match, keeping them out of the dating pool. I like that thinking.
I also would not say anything in this scenario. I like protecting my peace. And I like hearing other people's dramas all the time. I just don't want to be part of it.
Yes. Or I would have told them right away. I would have been like, hey, just so you know, me and Jared had a situationship for like 2 weeks back when we were like 17, 16, whatever it was. Like I would have just said that like right off the bat so they knew going into the relationship, not 3 years later. I think it's just, it happened so long ago and is not the issue in the relationship. So what does it matter?
Won't it be fucked up if this OP sent this live stream to their friend and be like, oh, can you listen to some of these stories? Or if the friend just happens to be a Wikimaniac and hearing this shit, to be like, hold up, Jared? That would have been wild. And maybe we'd do another update Wednesday when we caused another
another update. That one would be a negative update. The one we did was a positive update.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. Most people are agreeing that it's like it's either right away or never. So I think that's kind of
never.
Yeah.
Unless you pay me to do it, then I'll gladly.
We'll do it in a cameo.
Yes.
All
It's
right.
like, hey, what's up, Jared and Ivy? Y'all been fucking other people.
Well, I think they they probably don't know that, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, wild story. All right, this will be my last one of the day. You got one more, right, John?
I believe I have one more, yes.
Okay, so we'll end on John's. But this one comes from Best of Editor Updates again, cross-posted by Lucy Area Rose. And this one is, my brother proposed to my fiance, his ex, and now I'm pissed.
My brother proposed to
my fiance.
Proposed to my fiance. Hey, what?
his brother's ex. So there's a lot of crossing of
intermingling
relationships here. I will say, trigger warning for assault, but the mood spoiler said things are much better, so I think it ends in a good place, but it's going to be a rough read for the beginning, I think. All right. Does this one have 20 updates? Is that what you're saying? Oh, it is very long. Maybe should I not do this one? Oh my god.
Well, let's end it with yours then. How about that?
This one is so long, John. I don't think I could do this. This might be a live stream by itself. Holy shit. Like I said, I didn't read any of these. Oh my God.
Well, should we leave it up to the Wikimaniacs?
This might be the last one then we do.
Let's leave it up to the Wikimaniacs. We got to end it with a bang.
I got to do it now. Apparently everyone's saying
That's
me.
your fault, Josh. What about you can send me the link and we can switch around the updates. How about that? So that way you can get a break too.
Okay, we could do that maybe. Yeah.
Send me the link, brother. I
right.
got you.
All right, stall for me. Will I do that?
Yeah, the nerve of this guy, right? To introduce something and then leave you at you guys.
I'm the
and
asshole.
we're not gonna do it. The fuck? Audacity of this white man, people. What are you doing, Josh? Reading names wrong, calling Denise Dennis. Son of a bitch.
I don't have Slack on this one.
You can send it directly on our Slack.
I know. I'm not logged into the Slack on this computer though.
Look at this unprepared motherfucker. I'm just gonna flame him the whole time. This is now the roast of Josh Shell. Just because he got married recently, all of a sudden he's not safe from ridicule. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I'm not into it. I just like being unhinged.
That's fair. Now I got a two-step verification.
Josh is the asshole.
I am. That's fair. I'm doing the reading, so
Okay, get it together.
Okay.
This is how you know how unprepared we are on most days. This is honestly, this is actually not running bad at all.
Should start calling him Josh Shill.
Yes.
It's pretty close.
You sent it to me?
There we go. So I'll do. You want to just rotate through updates?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay, good. Because there's like 8 of them. And they're all fairly long.
All right.
Okay, so let's kick this one off. The first post was September 8th. So within a month span, there has been God knows how many updates. But let's get into it. My 28 male brother, Mark, 26 male, used to date my fiance, Jen, 26 female, a year ago, which is so soon to start dating your brother's ex. That's crazy.
Y'all must have been lusting for that.
Oh, man. For context, they dated back in August 2022. They were only together for a month before he broke things off with her because he got bored of being in a relationship and never really wanted to settle down anyway. A month is crazy to be bored. At the time they were dating, I was in a different state, so I had no idea he even had a girlfriend, and I had no idea who Jen was until I met her. Okay. Jen and I met at a bar when I moved back in October and hit it off really well. She was easily the most beautiful and intelligent woman I had ever met, and we met up a few times more before we finally made it official. Fast forward to December, and I finally bring her up to my family and propose them meeting her at Christmas. They knew I was in a relationship, but I'm not the most open about my personal life, so I kept the details about her to a minimum until I knew how serious we really were. My parents asked to see pictures, and they started passing my phone around the dinner table. Mark saw it and blew up, calling me a shit brother for dating his ex-girlfriend, and he demanded I break it off with her. I refused. When I asked Jen about it, she confirmed they dated and gave me the details about their breakup. It took a few weeks, but eventually Mark stopped bringing up me dating his ex, and I thought he was over it. On Jen's birthday this year, I took her out to a fancy dinner with both our families and her closest friends, and I asked her to marry me. Mark flipped out once again and blew up me proposing to her, which I and my sisters immediately shut down. The incident happened this past weekend. Mark has been pretty quiet about the whole thing for the last few months. I didn't see him much and figured he went low contact with me, which I had no problem with. Then he invited me and Jen for a family dinner at his apartment with my parents and sisters.
Hell no, don't go to that shit, bro. He
Nope.
fucking did some shit on their food.
I thought it was weird, but my parents and sisters were going, so we also agreed to go. The dinner was nice, nothing too fancy, and we moved to the living room to talk. About 30 minutes into a normal conversation, Mark stood up and told us that he had an announcement. He made a long speech about being happy to have his family around for this big moment, Then he got on one knee and pulled out this treat ring while asking Jen to marry him. Jen was confused and obviously uncomfortable and demanded that he put it away and stand up. My dad tried to make a grab for Mark, but I got to him first and punched him.
That left a mark.
I won't repeat most of it because I was too angry to listen to most of it, but he said something along the lines of wanting to show me that Jen wasn't really into me and just wanted to get back at him. Before I could get worse, my parents rushed me out and promised to talk to him. It's been a few days since this happened, and I'm still pissed off. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm scared Jen might have second thoughts of marrying me because of this. Any advice?
I'd punch the other face.
I'd go no contact with him. I'd cut him out completely.
I'd go all contact with these fists.
We did already. So
fucking Mark. What a weird. At first, the title seemed weird, but that was barely a blip in a radar in terms of dating. And it seemed like Jen cut him off so fast because he found out how much of a weirdo this motherfucker is.
Yes. And it sounds like both OP and Jen didn't realize until they went, until Mark found out months later after they'd already been in a relationship. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to demand that they cut each other off because it's like, well, you were in her life so little. Neither of them knew you were his brother. Seems fine to me. This is like the title is bad. It sounds bad, but then it's like, oh, you didn't know. She didn't know. It's fine. I think you guys are fine to be in a relationship together. Mark sounds like one of those guys who just like when their ex finds someone, they're like, oh, that's the one that got away, even though they caused the breakup. You know what I mean?
I got one more in me. This is a weird way to mark your territory, brother.
Jesus Christ.
I hate it. All right, let's go to the edit before I keep canceling myself. Edit, same post later that day. First, thanks for reading and responding. I've been reading the comments between last night and this morning, and valid points were made. There isn't an update since the only people I've spoken to since that dinner is Jen and my little sister. Sorry. I want to clarify a few things that I saw in the comments. Number one, Jen and I are newly engaged. It was one of those feelings where we both knew we were in it for the long run. As fast as it is, I'm sure about her. When we met, I was the one who approached her, not the other way around. Whether she knew or had suspicions of us being related, I didn't know. I asked after finding out they dated, and she says she had no idea. I didn't have a reason to doubt that, but I can admit this overreaction on Mark's part does raise red flags. 3. I had no idea she and Mark dated when I met her. Mark and I aren't close at all. We used to be, but as we grew up, we drifted and talked less and less. Before I moved back, we didn't really speak much aside from special days like his or my birthday. Jen knew of my family, but not much until I decided I was ready to introduce them to her. When she and Mark met, I didn't get a sense of any residual feelings on either part. She didn't treat him like a stranger, but she also wasn't overly affectionate with him either. Number 4, I was told this was a relationship that lasted a month. I didn't think I needed permission from Mark to ask her to marry me, but maybe that was wrong of me. I'm not sure. That being said, I plan to talk to Mark this weekend to lay everything out on the table and figure out what's up. I never asked for a side of their relationship, which is my fault for not doing my due diligence. If anything major or enlightening happens, I'll update. But for now, that's all I have.
Clearly something major happened.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't been skipping most of the comments just because I feel, I feel the updates answer most of them anyway. So, yeah.
I'll read some of the relevant comments and then I'll pass the ball to you.
Sure.
Relevant comments. Don't give into the, but he's family comments. And OP responded, thankfully, I haven't heard that he's family shit much aside from my mom and a few aunts. They know me well enough to know our relationship isn't enough for me to put up with his disrespect, especially towards my fiance. They'd be wasting their breath. And on Fiancé, yeah, I don't think I have to worry about her going back. Safe to say she can't stand him either. LOL.
Yes, I agree. I think you're fine. Like Mark sounds like the crazy one here. He's weirdly possessive of an ex that he dated for a month. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy behavior. So I still think OP and Jen are fine. I do want to shout out Oliver, who sent $10 and said, "Congratulations, Josh." Thank you, Oliver, for that. And thank you for the $10.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think we hit 25,000 subscribers as we have been live. So
Let's
that's crazy.
Go.
Hell
And also,
yeah.
shout out to all the Wikimaniacs. We finally have 4 million plays on YouTube, 4 million watches. So appreciate
Crazy.
y'all. 4 million views. Man, I couldn't even think of the word, but appreciate y'all. Hopefully, this could be like a weekly thing. You know what I'm saying? So we can get Sean to be doing this shit with us too.
Yeah, then we can make Sean work.
No, he's not.
All right, so here's the update, September 10th, 2 days later. First, I want to thank everyone for reading. It's been a busy weekend, so I haven't had the chance to reply to many people, but I did edit in the response. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Now for the update. I called Mark and asked him to meet up with me at my place to talk. I told him I would prefer Jen to be around for the talk as well, but I was cool with it if he didn't want her there. He agreed to talk to both of us and showed up at my place around noon today. It was pretty quick. For a few minutes before I started the conversation, I apologized for not warning him I would be proposing to Jen, and I apologized for hitting him. He said it was whatever, but he appreciated the apology. I told him what Jen had said about the relationship and breakup when I asked her about it, and I asked him to confirm if that was true. I pretty much said that his reaction throughout this whole thing has been pretty extreme, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding their relationship or downplaying how serious they were. He confirmed that they only dated for a few weeks and that he broke up with her because he'd lost interest in Jen. He lost interest. Jen asked if he was acting like this because he still had feelings or regrets about ending things with her. He said he could admit that he thought she was more attractive than when he last saw her, but there weren't any feelings or regrets. What a weird fucking... Jesus Christ. He said he just didn't like seeing a girl he dated, even if it was short term, with his older brother. And as a man, I shouldn't have violated him by pursuing things with his ex. I reminded him that I had no idea they dated, so it wasn't like I would consciously did this knowing their history together. He shrugged me off and said it didn't matter. I should have still broken it off. He was adamant that if the roles were reversed, he would have done the same thing, which I doubt. I also doubt OP would have asked that of him.
Yeah, because he proposed to her in front of everybody, you sick freak.
Yeah. I asked him why he proposed to her if he didn't have any lingering feelings. Basically, to sum it up, he was talking about it to one of his buddies who was around when Mark and Jen dated, and the guy put the idea in his head that maybe Jen knew from the start that they were related and was doing this to get him back, considering Jen had been hung up on him after they ended. He and his friends thought it would be a good idea to test it and see if they were right, so he came up with the idea to propose and see if she'd dump me for him. That's insane.
Dumbass friends, and you're a dumbass for listening.
But also to do it in front of your whole family,
it's
crazy, wild. Crazy. Jen asked him to elaborate on why he thought she was hung up on him, and he told her that he had heard that she was asking about him following the breakup and still hanging out at the places they used to go to, so it was a valid assumption. Then for her to pop up randomly with his brother, affirmed his suspicions. Jen told him she'd only asked him about him once following the breakup, and she'd been hanging out at those places with friends before they started dating, and she wouldn't avoid him because of a breakup. She also told him she was offended by the idea that she would go as low to pursue me just to get back at him. He shrugged and gave her a half-assed apology, but she said she had to see it from his point of view. He asked her if she really didn't know, and she told him that she didn't see the resemblance in us until we were in the same room, and we act nothing alike, so it never crossed her mind, and he said okay. That pretty much wrapped up the conversation. He did tell me before he left that I could take back his invite to the wedding because he can't bring himself to support our relationship knowing he used to date her. I told him he didn't have to worry about that as he was most likely going to be uninvited anyways. It's been a few hours since we talked, and I do feel better. My parents aren't too happy about him being uninvited, but they understood that this was a mutual decision and probably for the best. My sister told me that they knew he didn't have a good reason for being an asshole, and they don't blame me for not wanting him at the wedding. As of now, I'm going limited contact with Mark, and I doubt he'll reach out to me anytime soon either. Once again, I want to thank everyone for reading and commenting, and if anything significant happens, I'll update again. I think that comment's been answered. So, John, do you want to take away the update 3?
Yes. I'm just trying to find out where it is first.
Oh, do you not see it?
Is it the update? My mom's uninvited. Oh,
Nope. Update post 2 and 3, November 11th.
Okay. I'll take that
2023.
one. Okay, I gotcha. Well, I mean, can't wait for that Facebook update. Says marked safe from this jackass. Update post 2. And this happened November 11, 2023, 2 months later. I couldn't post this to the same forum, so I'm posting this directly to my profile in case anyone is interested in an update. It's been a while since I've posted, but a few things happened since my last talk with Mark. So, I've been low contact with Mark since, yeah, I'm sorry for the spoilers. I can't follow sometimes. So, I've been low contact with Mark since our last conversation. I haven't called him and he hasn't called me. And our only interactions have been in family settings. As it stands, my mom is now upset that Mark is still uninvited for my wedding. So not too far off from that spoiler, guys.
Yeah, get over it. Mom.
Get over it. It started with a comment made during my younger sister Sophie's 22 female's birthday. Her boyfriend of 4 years proposed to her at the end of the night, and we sat around talking about what she envisioned for her dream wedding. She talked a bit about wanting a destination wedding and her ideas for the cake and dress. Then she said something along the lines of, Teddy, I know Mark's banned from your wedding, but you won't care if he comes to mine, right? I laughed it off and told her I can't get mad about her guest list, even if I wanted to. My mom gave me this weird look and asked if Mark was still not invited to my wedding. And I told her yes, and she got irritated. She told me she thought I was joking and said I was being unreasonable to go through with banning him from the wedding since he's family.
He said he didn't want to come anyway.
Yeah. I hate these damn excuses. Family. Well, your family's a jackass.
Yeah, your son sucks ass. So.
My God. Enabling this behavior is crazy in my opinion for the mom. I get wanting everyone to be like cordial and happy for a special occasion, but why would I want someone who is completely grouchy and unhappy for me to ruin my damn mood?
He literally proposed to your fiance to try and prove a point. Like, what do you mean?
Bitch, I ain't paying for no extra plate for your dumbass Mark.
Yeah.
You got me fucked up. Anyways, she accused me of holding a grudge just to be petty. I reminded her that he and I agreed on him not coming. I then told her that this wasn't a time to talk about my wedding since the day was about Sophie, and if Mark or her want to talk about my wedding, they can call me another time. I needed to burp again. Sophie laid into my mom a bit about trying to make her special day about Mark, and my mom dropped the issue. For those of you who might be wondering, Mark wasn't at Sophie's party because he apparently had to work and couldn't make it. Oh, so if it's a family thing, why didn't Mark show up?
Why wasn't he there?
Fucking idiot. A few days later, my mom stopped by my house and said she wanted to discuss my wedding. She asked me why I was so adamant about Mark not coming to my wedding. She said that I shouldn't be so insecure about Mark and Jen's previous relationship and that uninviting him
he's not the insecure one about this.
was a step too far. And I told her that Mark and I mutually agreed on him not coming to the wedding and he can come to me about it himself if he has a problem with it. We got into an argument and she said that if I wasn't going to reinvite Mark, then she would not be coming either because I'm ostracizing her son.
See ya.
Good riddance to you too, mama.
Yeah.
I shrugged and told her if that's what she wants, and then she can toss her invite in the trash because I won't beg her to be there. She asked me if I would really be okay with her not attending, and I told her it wouldn't be the first time she missed an event of mine because of Mark. Oh, so Mark is your golden child, huh?
Yeah.
I love a mama's boy type of episode. Shout out TLC, please sponsor us. She said I was being an asshole for throwing her past mistakes in her face, and she stormed out. I then started getting messages and phone calls from her and a few family members about the whole situation, saying I was in the wrong and urging me to invite Mark just to keep the peace. The way I'd be
What are
fucking
we doing?
inviting all of you dumbasses. Jen's also been getting messages from my mom asking her to talk to me and get me to change my mind. But to my knowledge, she hasn't been responding. So far, most of my mom's side of the family are standing in solidarity with her and not attending, while my dad and his side of the family, which is only my aunt and uncle and their 2 kids, agree with me and are still coming. My sisters are also still coming to the wedding, and of course, Jen's family too. Also, I talked to Mark about it and asked him if he had a problem with not having an invite. He said he uninvited himself in the first place and he doesn't get why they're making a big deal because he still doesn't want to go.
You
So
know you're in
why
the
fuck
wrong.
are you mad, Mom?
You know you're in the wrong when Mark's like, I don't even want them to fight for me. I don't give a fuck.
Jeez. He told me to leave him out of the fighting because he's not involved and he says he'd tell her the same. As of now, I'm back to being low contact with my mom. Fix that to no contact, please.
Yeah.
But my dad and I are still on decent terms. I'm still deciding on whether I'll reinvite my mom and her family, but the chances are low, and I told my dad this too, which he understands. For now, Jen and I started looking into downsizing the venue since the guest list is significantly smaller.
Absolutely. I'll do this update, John, since it's technically a different update.
Let me take a quick little break. I gotta let Kevin go out the door. I'm gonna turn my camera off, people, because I'm not wearing pants. I'll be right back.
Oh man, I'll just hide John. I don't want to accidentally see him with no pants. That's only for $25 patrons. But all right, let's hop into update number 3. This is the one John kind of spoiled. My mom is uninvited from the wedding indefinitely. About 2 weeks after she decided not to come to the wedding, she came, stopped by, and said she wanted to clear the air and talk about everything. We agreed and invited her to join us for dinner. Jen made her a plate of food, and I asked if she was still planning on not coming to the wedding. She said that while she wants to, she can't get over me not inviting Mark because of a simple mistake. I reminded her that his simple mistake was proposing to my fiancé with me sitting less than 3 feet away from him, and she said it was just a joke. Which Mark even clarified it wasn't a joke, so it's not a joke. Jen asked her why she wanted to talk if she was maintaining the same stance on Mark coming to the wedding. She said she wanted to talk to Jen, and she was hoping Jen would hear her out and talk me into inviting Mark again. She apparently assumed I was at work and she'd be able to catch her alone. Jen politely told her that she understood her thought process, but she wouldn't have had that conversation anyway without me present since this is about my brother. My mom made a comment somewhere along the lines of Jen being spineless and unable to have a conversation without me thinking for her, which started a pretty heated back and forth between the 3 of us before Jen told her to get out. She got up and started walking towards the door, and my mom followed her, still screaming at her. By this point, she's yelling about her tearing our family apart. While Jen was unlocking the front door, my mom grabbed her hair and pulled her to the ground, still screaming. She hit her and tried to claw her face and dragged her off of her and I dragged her off her and threw her outside. Oh my fucking God. I'd be charges. You're paying for the wedding now. Fuck. She banged on the door for a few minutes while I made sure Jen was okay before she left and called the both of us repeatedly. When I was sure Jen was okay, I texted my mom and told her not to bother reaching out again because we'll never speak to her again. I called my dad and sisters and told them what happened too. My dad was surprised and tried to make excuses, saying she'd been stressed out about the whole situation for a while. My sisters say they knew she'd snap eventually since she's always been a crazy B word, and they said she'd come and make sure Jen is okay. Yeah, she is a crazy bitch. I asked Jen if she wanted to press charges, but she declined and said she only wanted to cut contact with her for good. I told her that part was obvious, but she should still talk to the police since she was physically assaulted, but she doesn't want my mom to get arrested. My sisters and Jen's mom came by to comfort her. Thankfully, she's doing okay. My mom is blocked on everything until Jen says otherwise. I genuinely don't know what to do now. Jen doesn't want to go to the police because she'd feel guilty having her arrested over this, but my sisters and I want to convince her and at least have documentation in case something happens in the future. Which I gotta say, Jen is an angel for just being like, no. But I will say it is smarter to have it at least written down. Even if you don't have to press charges. You can say, no, I don't want to press charges. I just want to have this like documented, so that, yeah, if anything else does happen, the police can refer to it. That's always a good idea. Crazy. This is a crazy family. But shout out to the sisters for backing you and your fiance. They sound great. They sound normal, which is good. All right. So clarification post, November 13th. So this is, what was that? 2 days later? 3 days? Yeah, 2 days later. On November 13th, 2023. So here's some background on my relationship with my parents. I'm debating on whether we need to do this one, but I guess we'll do it just because we're already neck deep in this. Oh, John's back too, by the way, so we'll get him in here.
You know what? Jen is generous, all right? I would have sued the fuck out of that. Bitch, you put your hands on me.
Were you just screaming off camera for
I was like, drag this mom. Drag her ass to jail, Jen. You're too nice. My God.
Man. Did you want to read this one, John? It's the background on the relationship with the parents.
I'll give you a break, my guy.
All right. Sounds good.
Clarification post posted on November 13, 2023. Title, some background on my relationship with my parents. Some people were asking questions about my mom and my decision not to be open with Jen about my relationships with my parents. I figure I could give some background on why we're so strained. Maybe because your mom is a little crazy.
Yeah.
Like some of you said, Mark was the golden child, and everyone in the comments called it already.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Mark was my mom's baby boy, and she didn't do much to try and hide it. They didn't spend much time with my sisters, and I, like normal parents, did with their kids unless they had to, but they'd spend time with Mark as often as possible, like taking him out shopping while we stayed with a sitter, or bringing him home his favorite food and toys from the store when they'd shop alone. He usually got better things compared to the rest of us, like new expensive clothes, while ours were thrifted or new toys just for him compared to old toys we had to share with each other. If my sister, I know, right?
Wild for the younger kid not to have like, like the hand-me-downs, you know what I mean? Like, it's favoritism then.
If my sisters and I got gifts, they were for us to share. But my mom made it pretty clear that Mark's things were only for him, and we shouldn't touch it. When Mark would screw up, I'd get punished for not being a good role model and showing him the proper way to behave. For example, Mark went through a phase of breaking his toys, and I got the beating because obviously he learned that behavior from me. When he was 8, Mark got in trouble at school for trying to push a kid down the stairs. I was grounded for 2 weeks and told to apologize to the kid for not teaching my brother right. Also, listening to all these things, that punch to Mark must have been cathartic.
Yep.
When I turned 13, I pushed for my parents to start giving me an allowance. They agreed as long as I did the household chores like mowing the lawn, taking out the trash, raking leaves, etc. It was usually somewhere around $25 a week to help me start saving. Mark saw that I was getting money and he begged my parents for an allowance too. Instead of making him work, $10 of my allowance money was given to him each week because we were doing such a good job with our chores.
What?
And he never did anything. Whenever I asked him to help, he'd tell me it's not his job to do chores, so why should he bother? It was around this time that I started really distancing myself from my brother. And by the time I entered high school, we only talked to each other when we needed small favors or when we absolutely had to. I got my first job when I turned 17 because I wanted to finally get my own car and make money that they couldn't force me to give to Mark. My oldest sister, Maggie, helped me start my own bank account and showed me how to properly budget and save my money. I got my first car at 18 after all of my hard work. And when Mark got his license, my parents asked me to let him use my car to get around and for extra practice behind the wheel. Reluctantly, I agreed, and for a while, the arrangement was fine. Mark used my car when I didn't need it. And helped maintain it pretty well. When he expressed wanting my parents to buy him his own car, my mom came to me and told me to give him my car because he needed it more.
Jesus.
When I refused, she threatened to kick me out. And we got in a fight that night, which ended with her giving Mark my car and taking me to transfer ownership of it to him within the following few days. Since I don't have anywhere else I could go at the time, I just sucked it up and signed it over. When I graduated high school, both of my parents skipped my graduation because Mark didn't want to sit in a long ceremony just to see me get a piece of paper. And my mom,
Oh,
I fucking hate
that's
these parents.
crazy.
And my mom didn't want to leave him alone for the night. So I only had the support of my sisters and my aunt and uncle who wanted to take me out. They ended up having to bring me home at my parents' request because they made me dinner to make it up to me. And it was dinner I couldn't eat because my mom put shrimp and chicken on the same serving dish, and I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh my God. All right.
I'm wishing violence
Honestly.
on these parents. Oh my God, they need to learn a lesson. Yeah, she should go to jail.
Yeah.
In my first year out of high school, I worked 2 jobs to buy myself another car. And at the start of the new school year, I moved away for college and cut contact with them. They tried to reach out for the first few months via social media and Sophie, but I never responded. And I told Sophie she would be cut off too if she kept trying. When she couldn't get to me though, when she couldn't get to me through Sophie, she tried going through my older sister Charlotte, and a few times through Maggie and Mark until I threatened to file a restraining order for harassment. It was a bluff because I had no idea how to do it, but it managed to scare her off, and the most I got from her was a happy holiday text over the years. Around the time I moved back, Charlotte told me they had been seeing a family therapist, and my parents wanted to apologize for their treatment of us. I was hesitant, but I agreed as long as they would be genuine. And the I can't pronounce this word. Reconciliation process.
Reconciliation.
That word. Started when I moved back home. That doesn't even scratch the surface of everything they put me through. And it took a lot for me to even begin to let them back into my life. When I met Jen, I wasn't sure where my relationship with her was going or where my relationship with my parents was going. I didn't want to mention my family at all, mostly because I was ready to cut contact again if I needed to. Jen was understanding of it being a sore subject and didn't press for more. I hope this helps shed some light on some of the questions I'd been seeing pop up.
Hell yeah.
Relevant comment.
I think we can skip them. I read them. They're not
Go ahead.
that important. But
Take it away, brother.
Rue Nene said this family is so shellfish.
Nice. I wanted to say it, but I've used it before.
And then shout out for Miranda for becoming a rich on YouTube. All right. So
now Miranda's not shellfish for shelling out their money.
Oh, there we go.
That part I like.
All right. So this was 17 days later. This is update post 4. And there's one more after this. So we've got 2 more updates. This one's a very long one. To answer the most common question about why I chose to reconnect after everything, the short answer is because I would do anything for my sisters. Charlotte wanted the entire family around and for the birth of her first child and to help her while she adjusted. She didn't want part-time aunts and uncles who would only visit her kids during birthdays and holidays. She was never the type to ask for much of anything growing up, so when she asked if I would be willing to try for her, I agreed because it would make her happy. I also think part of me hoped that maybe they'd change. I don't regret trying to reconcile either. My parents are still terrible, but I met the love of my life, so I call it a win. A few people wanted to know if there's an update, so here we go. We filed a report with the police, and we were told that even though Jen doesn't want to pursue anything, it's not up to us to decide whether it goes further, but they would keep our preference in mind. Which I didn't know that was a thing. I thought you could decide whether you wanted to press charges or not.
I've never had to press charges on anyone, and I wish I never have to.
Yeah, same. We provided some pretty decent evidence of the assault, including pictures of Jen's face and texts from my mother and dad talking about what happened. We were advised to report it and record any other incidents with my mom going forward in case anything else happens. Considering where we live, I doubt it'll go anywhere, but at least we have it on record. I got about 100 angry text messages that tell me that they at least spoke to her regarding the incident. My mom tried to corner me, leaving my job, and screamed at me about trying to ruin her life. Jeez, this mom needs so much therapy. Holy. She kept screaming that I was an awful son for trying to get her arrested over a small misunderstanding, and she didn't understand what she'd done to deserve being punished like this.
You assaulted someone, you piece
Assault?
of shit.
Oh. I told her that if she didn't like the being in legal trouble, then she shouldn't have hit Jen. She demanded that I tell the police to forget the report, which I refused. I told her exactly what the officer said about it being out of my hands. She had a tantrum in the parking lot and hit me a few times, just on the chest and arms, before security intervened and dragged her off the property. I had to talk to my boss about the incident. Luckily, she was understanding of everything going on after I explained what was happening. Did you just send her a link to this updates? When I got home, I told Jen what happened. She was upset and asked that we discuss the plan with my family moving forward. It was a long talk, but we took all the advice from Redditors and decided to go completely no contact with my family, aside from my sisters. We agreed that having them in my life is adding unnecessary stress for the both of us, and we aren't even married yet. She told me she wanted to consider moving away and put some distance between us and the family. She said that she tried to stay out of my family issues because it's not her place, but she refuses to put up with my mom and her behavior or my dad enabling her abuse. A lot more was said, too much to put in this post, but I agreed with her that it was more trouble than they were worth, and I also don't want to put up with this anymore. I also agreed to go to therapy, and she's helping me find a therapist. That's a great idea. I decided to call my dad after our talk and let him know I would be going no contact. He didn't answer the first time I called, so I left a message asking to have a long talk. When he called back, he asked if it was okay for my mom to be a part of the conversation. I would say no.
The audacity.
I told him it was okay since she needed to hear what I had to say too. The conversation went about as well as you could expect. I was going to say, I feel like having her part of the conversation just makes it go nowhere. Having your dad at least like by himself talking to you, I feel you could at least get the point across and at least, yeah. Anyway, I told them both that Jen and I are cutting them out of our lives. My dad demanded to know why I would do something like that after going through all the trouble of repairing our relationship. I told him that this entire thing with Mark has shown me that nothing is actually repaired between us, and as far as they're concerned, the world revolves around only my mom and my little brother. I told him that their continued favoritism of Mark has brought our relationship to the point of no return, and that I wasn't interested in holding on to failing relationship. I told them that I agreed to reconcile for Charlotte's sake, but I don't appreciate all the disrespect towards me and Jen, and that I wouldn't be putting up with it anymore for both our sakes. To my mom specifically, I told her that I was tired of her using me as a scapegoat for her bad parenting and Mark's attitude. I also told her I would never forgive her for what she did to Jen and what she did to me and my sisters growing up. She started to say how I should move on like my sisters have, but I cut her off and told her that she shouldn't have to take that she should take their forgiveness and move on. Oh wait, what the fuck? Sorry, this is a very long paragraph and there's no breaks. I don't know what he's saying here. And move on because she would never receive it from me, especially after everything she's done in the last few weeks. So he's saying he won't ever forgive her, basically.
Good.
She started crying and asking me how I could treat her like such a villain. I told her she could only be upset with herself because I've done nothing wrong. She cried harder and told me how much she regretted having me and how I've only tried to ruin her life. This started a heated argument between her and Jen once again, and Jen told her in much more colorful words that she was disgusting and plenty of other nice names for saying something like that to me. I don't know if she left the room or just decided to shut up, but my mom stopped talking when Jen was done speaking to her. My dad said he wasn't okay with being shut out of my life, and he asked me to try and understand my mom's point of view. He said that she was struggling because her kids were at odds, and I was being unfair to punish her for struggles with raising and caring for us.
What the fuck is her point of view?
The last thing he said was that we were family and that I shouldn't let past mistakes stop us from moving forward together. They are current mistakes. These are currently things that are happening. What do you mean past fucking mistakes? Also, past mistakes are assault. You know what I mean? Like, not small things. This is crazy. I told him that the only person she ever cared for was Mark and herself, and there was nothing he could say or do to make me change my mind. I told him that it was up to him whether to keep my number, but I would be blocking him and my mom everywhere, and I wouldn't be reaching out again. Then I hung up. Afterwards, I sent a long email with the link to my posts attached to my entire family uninviting everyone except my aunt and uncle and sisters to the wedding. I hadn't cried in a long time, but Jen held me while I cried after writing the email, and she assured me that we would be okay. My sisters also reached out to me after reading the email. I apologized to Charlotte for not being able to continue reconciling like she wanted, but she told me it was okay and it's not my fault. I had to cut them off again. The response from my family has been pretty mixed. Some are angry I aired out my family issues on a public internet forum, while others are pissed at my parents because they never knew how bad it was.
I'm pissed of how long this damn story is. Just kidding.
My bad. Yeah, we are going way over our time. I'm so sorry. The last person I talked to about everything was Mark. He asked me he asked if I was cutting him off too, and I told him I wasn't, but I wouldn't be going out of my way to reach out to him either.
Cut him off!
Yeah, I mean, in comparison, Mark's not the worst person in the story. But yeah, I mean, he's not making an effort to reach out to Mark either. I guess it's like low contact, which is fine, I think. He didn't argue and just wished me the best of luck with the wedding, and we haven't spoken since. Right now, Jen and I are looking for a new place to stay. The plan is to move closer to Jen's brother. He lives about 3 hours from where we are now, and Jen and I like the city he's in. I spoke to my boss about transferring, and Jen is looking for options of working 100% remotely or possibly finding a new job. And once again, our venues have changed. Since the guest list is significantly smaller, my future brother-in-law is considering letting us use his lake house for our wedding. I don't plan to post any more about this unless the sky falls, at least not until the wedding, because I want to move on with my life. And we'll skip all these and just go to the final update.
Let's do it.
10 months later, John.
10 months later, and this was actually pretty recent, posted on September 29, 2024.
Very close.
Very close. Hey, everyone. It's been a minute since I posted here. Things have been busy, but I saw a few requests for an update. It's small, but here it is. I have a wife and a newborn daughter now.
Woo!
Let's go. At least a damn happy update.
That's awesome.
We found out Jen was pregnant around the time of my last post, so that pretty much kicked us into overdrive as far as moving away and starting fresh in a new place. I need to burp again. Ooh, sorry. I was able to transfer to a different location, and Jen found a new job here that lets her work remotely. We got married 4 months ago at her brother's lake house. We didn't plan to have the ceremony so soon, but we both didn't want to wait for the baby to arrive to get married. Jen also found a dress that she fell in love with and didn't want to get too big to wear. It was a small ceremony with mostly her family present, but my sisters, aunt, and uncle did attend. I know some people probably wanted to hear about a huge blowout at my wedding, but it was easily one of the best days of my life.
Hell yeah.
My daughter was born early last month. She's beautiful, happy, and healthy. Jen's also doing okay. The last stretch of the pregnancy was hard for her both emotionally and physically, but since giving birth, she's been doing better.
Awesome.
She's seeing a doctor regularly during this postpartum phase due to complications she had during the pregnancy, but so far there aren't any major health concerns for her. Besides complaining about the doctor visits, I don't think I've seen a frown on her face since we brought our daughter home. As for my parents, I haven't heard from my dad, but my mom did reach out a few days after the wedding. Apparently, my uncle sent them some of the photos they took at the wedding. Your uncle's a fucking spy. I'm just kidding. Fucking playing a mole here, double agent here, buddy. My mom made a fake Facebook page and started spamming Jen and I with angry messages about excluding her from both the wedding and from Jen's pregnancy. She went on a lengthy tirade? Is that the word?
Tirade, yep.
Tirade about being entitled to being part of her grandchild's life and about how unfair it was that she wasn't allowed to be present in our lives. She asked to come visit us, demanded we visited her, and even asked to be in the delivery room, all of which was quickly shut down by me. Holy shit. I want to...
Learning is hard for some people.
I'm not going to say, but oh my God, this mom is insane.
Oh, man.
I screenshot everything and emailed it to myself in case I need it for a PO. What's that mean? For a PO in the future, then I blocked her. Please let us know what that means in that context.
PO? I know what BO means.
I have that after like a few hours in the gym. I haven't heard from her since, but I know she's been harassing my sisters to get us to talk to her. I don't know what, if anything, they're doing about it, but I did make it clear that we have nothing to talk about with her. For everyone wondering if Mark and I have been in contact, the answer is yes. He called after we came back from our honeymoon and congratulated us on the wedding and pregnancy.
Okay.
We did have a long talk about everything that happened, and I won't go into detail, but we both got to say a lot, and he did offer both me and Jen what feels like a sincere apology for what he did. Holy shit, the character development.
Mark can grow. Wow.
Yes. We've been texting a bit here and there, and since we talked, it's mostly just small talk and life updates. But he did invite me to have a drink with him next time I'm in town. I don't know if I'll accept it, but I told him I'd think about it.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for everyone for the support and well wishes you've all given us. Sorry if this update was all over the place. Edit. Just to clear it up before anyone asks, Mark doesn't know where I live and likely won't know in the future. If he chooses to give updates about my life to my parents, that's his choice. I won't give him any details that he can pass on that would help them pop up unannounced. Unfortunately, even if we were able to form some sort of relationship, I'll never be able to fully trust him. And last set of comments, people. Commenter, OOP's comments. Commenter put, congratulations to you and Jen on welcoming this new addition to your family. That's amazing news to hear. We knew that the fact that your mom got very unhinged after getting both news was a huge possibility, and she made she made it known to the world. Word of advice: document everything she does, says, sends. You never know if a cease and desist is on the cards for you, but better to be safe than sorry. Congrats again, and soak up all those newly born snuggles. They are the best. In which OOP responds, there you go. Thank you, the compa Pepe. PO is a protective order. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, it's been. I was gonna bring it up after you were done the comment. But
That's
yeah.
the first thing I saw. OOP put, hey, thanks. Being a new dad has got me anxious, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Trust me, I've been embracing. Sorry, Kevin's barking. I've been embracing all the snuggles, spit, and tears she's been offering. I can't say I'm surprised to hear from her, but I've been keeping everything documented with the advice of my lawyer. I'm hoping we won't need that protective order, but anything can happen. The end.
Oh my, I think that's the longest story we've ever read.
My mouth is so dry. Imagine if you had to read that by yourself. Holy shit.
I would have died, I think. But yeah, my bad for choosing the longest story. But I mean, great ending, I think. Sounds like Mark is growing as a person, which is good. We love to hear that. At least one person in that family is growing as people. But yeah, that's it. I think we'll hold off on your story, John, until maybe our next live stream.
Hold up. I did like what Writing Giraffe wrote. Video title is The Wildest Reddit Stories, and this one definitely delivers. So Josh, you did your job.
We didn't lie with our clickbait title. But John, I know we are planning to do more of these.
Yes.
Did we want to say were we saying next Wednesday or the Wednesday after?
We are possibly trying to do this again on the 23rd of October.
Okay.
We'll try to play around with times because I know like time zones are different with some people. We'll try to see if Sean's available too. Maybe we'll do one at a later time, but I know a lot of our listeners are in the, European time zone or like in the Asian time zone, Pacific time zone. So like there might be a little different. So we might have a different crowd. But if this is a good time for a majority of people, we'd love to do this more consistently. Like Josh mentioned, we are doing this more full-time basis. Would love to get more subscribers and would love to get our Twitch, rolling as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, thank you, Wikimaniacs, for supporting us throughout this whole time, for sticking around for the past 2.5 hours here.
Crazy.
You guys have been marked safe. And the stories get crazier, but we thank you.
Yes. So just so everyone knows, also shout out to Letters from Mercury, who said, please do a court episode and let us be a jury. I think they mean live. It won't be the 23rd, but we could do that. We can schedule something like that. Maybe in the future. That's a good idea. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Like we said, October 23rd, we're going to try and do it. Follow us on our socials for seeing when we're going to do it. Don't forget, we got spooky merch up now on our redditonwikishop.com. You can go check that out. as well as we are going to drop the Wednesday update for Patreon and
It's
YouTube
out
members.
right now.
It's out right now, actually, because we thought we were going to end before 2, but it's out right after this. So if you want more content from us, you can go check that out. It's a pretty good update, I gotta say. It's one of a happy one.
And if you're a patron / YouTube member, you'll also get another story tomorrow because you'll get your episode for Friday a day early. So
Yes,
if
that's
you ain't
true.
sick of our voices yet, please consider subscribing. Sean will be happy.
He will be. But yeah, is there anything else you want to call out before we end the show, John?
Yeah, just follow us on social media. We're at Reddit on Wiki on Instagram. Follow us everywhere. People, we have 2 TikTok accounts. Okay, we always get tagged like this is an imposter account, and look, we only have 2. So we have the main one that we have is at Reddit on Wiki Pod, and we have a secondary TikTok account at Reddit on Wiki without the pod, and that one we post a little bit more of like longer clips, so longer stories,
form.
longer form. So you get to choose 2, but we have those accounts as well.
For sure. Fred says my mom's birthday is this Saturday. Can y'all sing her happy birthday? We can say it.
Happy birthday to
Fred's mom.
Happy birthday to Fred's mom. Happy birthday, dear
Fred's mom. Happy birthday to you. All right. And with that, we're going to end the stream, but check us out. Everything else that we got going on today and tomorrow. And then we'll be doing this again October 23rd. Remember that date. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.